Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I started near this famous Polytechnical Museum building and wanted to talk about what's closer to this place and not yet uh, as much researched as that Polytechnical Museum. For example, as we step out a subway station below uh, the hill area of Polytechnical Museum, we see this um, church that I was visiting a couple years ago during one of my walks. And as you can see, this church is pretty much ancient. It's like supposed to be 17th, 16th century, right? And it's slightly lower on the altitude than the Polytechnical Museum, like maybe 30 feet lower. Uh, but it also has this buried and excavated first floor. As you can see, they covered it with the glass, some type of organic glass, not maybe non-organic glass, but whatever. So, and you can see those windows below there. Very interesting to find out. There were also people who were making videos on this church, but nobody figured to or managed to find any evidence of those previously buried floors on any pictures, because all the pictures start in the 19th century. And so many guys came here probably after those videos, so those people yelled at me because I was like filming, and they said it's prohibited, but I didn't see any signs or warnings that it's prohibited, and I already saw a couple of cops there who were like laughing at those people also, like what are they yelling at? But I don't know, they probably could call the cops because it is a big pain in the ass for them to get their butts kicked by the Pope, by the administration of this church, right? Because they let people in and they film. So I want to talk about this area, this famous area. All this area is officially called to be Salonka place, and this Salonka place has underground, famous Moscow underground entrances. They are right below this gray six-floor house, six-floor building. It's a group of buildings, pretty similar architectural style. As you can see, a little decline on the altitude from the left to the right, and this is probably the flow of the mud. I've been in this place here like a year ago, so filmed the underground floors, the windows they have below those windows that we see from the surface, right? So this is very interesting because we have a bunch of cafes, but most of the area is just commercial property. You cannot just enter and ask people to show you around. So that was a great chance, and you see the depth of this buried first floor. Actually, there's also a basement floor way below there, but you cannot just enter it from here. So this is just a cafe, and you just cannot pizza. It's a pizza cafe, right? So it's like less than a mile away from the Kremlin, and then probably a half mile away from the Polytechnical Museum. Those houses are, and it's officially known that way below there is also underground floors that were used in trade and stuff like this. So that was winter before that, and I came exactly here in December. As you can see, these also very famous building there. I'm gonna be talking about it lately, and I go uphill, a slight decline. As you can see, all these areas show evidence of being excavated, and this church also looks like to be buried way below there. As you can see, some ugly entrance to the ground level here, and as you can see, the floors are buried closer to it, and you can see the evidence of excavation due to this altitude. And we follow to the Morozov mansion also, that is located over here, and we can see the excavation evidence here, because the park that was left probably from the buried area, and these streets are what was excavated around it, and those walls are right now just slurry walls for this, for this amount of hill. And it's also inhabited by the parking of this area. They have an underground parking here, and all these side streets very interesting in name. This, for example, is called dig up side street. So dug up side street, so it's like excavated side street. Okay, Podkapaevsky. Okay, and this is Morozov mansion. He also have a huge administrative building near the metro station, and that fancy church with the buried floor. And this mansion is like uphill, like half a mile away from the church. Little uphill. I don't say it's just a hill. It's just, slow decline on the altitude that just, just like a flow on not mud volcano, and we see this decline for several miles of the altitude, because the flow is that's how the mud flows. It goes it grows in altitude in the place of eruption, and has a decline when it flows in all the sides, right? So it doesn't have like certain size. And you can see also the pyramid here, and that's the administrative building. They've been owned by the same person, the Morozov clan. This is another building they've been owning, also mud flood evidence there. Another one with the mud flood evidence. So these family got all the mud flood evidence mentions, pretty cool ones. And the most fancy one near the Arbad, I've been showing it before, also very fancy. You cannot just go there. And that's the house in front of it, also, and the signs of being rebuilt from something that was built before. And you can see those ugly looking hidden windows from the buried first floor. Okay, that's how they hide it. Just hide it with the with the stuff, and that's it. So but if you walk like slightly down the street, you find another one, another famous mansion, also 17th century, so-called 17th century, and rebuilt in 19th century. Of course 19th century. It's always 19th century. So as you can see, also the evidence of the mud flooded first floor here. So this is all the area, and we came to this place, and also filmed around it. And so I'm welcome you guys to Moscow, and maybe I'll be doing some walks in Moscow. If you guys come to a certain date, we can make a certain meetup in Moscow and walk around, show you around. It's pretty interesting place to see, and a bunch of excavation and burial entrances we see here, a bunch of evidence. So it's like very obviously made from the window. The entrance is made from the window on the second floor, as you can see. Also the big sign of being a mud flooded building. The same from the side. Original entrances are most like buried down below. You cannot just find them from here. And it's always like this. You don't see the front entrance, and they make it from some certain window. Just or just you don't have it. You have it from the inside, or they make a certain, like a little tower on the left or the right, and use it as an entrance. Okay. And mostly those mansions, the mud flood mansions, are like museums or some organizations that are government controlled, or maybe some non-government societies. You can film, of course, but you cannot just go inside and without any access code or passcode As you can see, all those places have underground levels. Of course, you can walk in, but sooner or later somebody's gonna come and kick you out. So this is how it goes, and the whole Moscow is like this. The whole central Moscow is like this because a lot of events. And we came to another Morozov mansion here, so like three houses here in the same area, and they all have the same. As you can see, also the entrance from the window here, great example, and the bird first floor. They all have the bird first floors, and pretty much the same age of construction, except maybe one or two that are different. The rest of them are 17th, 19th century rebuilt buildings. 17th century built, 18th century built, and rebuilt. All of them rebuilt in 19th century. All of them. Okay. And the buildings nearby also have the same evidence. Okay, if you walk around, you also see that the whole house has the same. Of course, they have video surveillance cameras around, and they probably will monitor you. What are you doing while you're walking around the house? But you know, as long as it has an access, I go and always film what is inside. And those symbolisms show us, these antique symbolisms show that the building was built under the influence of the previous civilization culture, the United culture. Okay. The also the houses have excavations, but I always look around if I see any bricks underneath and stuff like this. So all the fancy houses were made on the places that the some house was standing below, some ancient house, some ancient building, and it's very expensive, and they just use the front walls and totally trash out the inside and change the way it was before, of course, make it more valid for commercial rental business. That's how that walk ended, and I hope you guys liked it. Write me in the comments if you want me to make these certain tours on Moscow and stuff like this, because I've been on a certain tour here in Moscow, Russian speaking tour. Maybe I can make an English speaking tour, because a lot of beautiful places. Of course, most of them are reconstructed right now, but we know what they done, and it's totally reported, and we see a bunch of excavation, a bunch of these landscape excavation marks, like here right in front of the Moscow. You see this building on so-called hill, but it's not actually hill. It's just excavated to make a road and stuff like this. So very interesting, very interesting city of Moscow. And we also can make tours in St. Petersburg, also very interesting. Maybe some other uh, cities nearby Moscow, because we have a lot of evidence around it also. And the good thing, you can walk in the evening also, and you can see everything, because Moscow is very good, for walking both at night and in day. So we can make it like a day round tour or something like this. I don't know, because probably very interesting to make this experience going on. A bunch of interesting places, a bunch of mysterious places. Maybe organize some type of party after it or something. I don't know. Who knows? Still desired party, so in the style of 19th century, something like this. I don't know. So write me in the comments what do you think, and of course don't forget to watch the postscriptum. I make postscriptum in certain last videos, so you guys might as well want to recheck if you watch them. Very interesting ones. And so today we're gonna have also interesting concerning the United States, because it's an obvious evidence of the mud flooded building. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and see you later. Bye. So what's so interesting in today's postscriptum? This is the video Donald Trump published on his Facebook account about Melania dressing up all this White House Christmas stuff. So one thing that was interesting is this model here. As you can see, the so-called buried first floor here, and Melania is like, doing all this Christmas stuff here. So this is what's pretty interesting. So I decided to look deeper into what we know as the White House. And as you can see, a bunch of different sketches here, but I couldn't find any actual evidence of construction. But I found plenty of footage on the reconstruction of Truman. So as you can see, they were doing all types of works here, outside walls. But what was more interesting is the footage from the inside, of course. So inside, as you can see, some windows are bricked up. As you can see, some strange stuff in the center that they're trying to demolish, or something was here, a bunch of dirt. I doubt that was there originally. I think they were demolishing stuff and getting all this dirt out. But too much dirt is what I say, and I'm not saying this is perfect thing to hide what's below there, but of course it's a sacred object, and they're gonna hide it from us, and they're gonna show us all this footage from the interiors, but nothing from the below. And there's a book, The Hidden White House. You can read it. Maybe you can find some evidence there. What I found interesting is the picture from the 1813 with this strange thing on the roof. So file President House by George Munger, 1814-1815. So this file has annotation. Move mouse pointer over their image to see them. One prominent but puzzling detail is the S-curved shape above the near corner of the roof. It is most readily interpreted as a part of a lightning protection system. Not a lightning rod given its length, but rather part of the metallic conductor that encircled the roof, now torn from its mooring. The record of fact could also be interpreted ironically, since the British had destroyed what lightning and what thunder and lightning could not. Okay, so they are showing us the destruction of the British, but the whole house is just looks like it was maybe some fire, but more like electric. So it's like not very long fire, like a flash, boom, and that's it. So maybe even some explosives here, and we don't see any roof here. And is what they say is this is the part of the lightning protection system. But I can't say, I can't just say although it's just a picture, it's just an image, it cannot be trusted to make any conclusions. What do you guys think on this postscriptum? Write me in the comments. And I see that the White House was just reconstructed a bunch of times, and we can't say for sure. But we can say for sure what we see is that it has underground facilities there, and probably a lot more than we are able to see right now. And probably that was also staged for us to watch how they were reconstructed. Who knows? And we want to see any details, like a bunch of bricks in the middle, where they came from. So this just walls that were before there, or maybe that's just to hide the construction that was before there, and who knows. It's just like what they do in Moscow, what I said before. They tear apart everything what's inside and just leave the external walls. So what can you say after you see such type of reconstruction? What can you say? Think about it. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you later. Bye.